Max Padden, subsidiary finance.
And Toph Padagian, ESD legal.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, well, thank you, everyone, for being here, and a good afternoon and a Happy New Year to those of you in New York and certainly here in the office. I'm pleased to call to order the meeting of the directors of the USA Niagara Development Corporation for Friday, January 15th, 2016. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, does anyone here at the table have any conflict of interest with any of the items that will be on today's agenda?
No.
That being the case, I'm going to ask the directors if I could get a motion to approve the minutes of the May 22nd, 2015 directors meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Monica Pellegrino-Fax. Second, Paul Nanula. Anybody have any questions, comments, or additions to the meetings? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Director Gary Smith, seconded by Michael Williamson, Director. I dispense with the A's and I's and No's, but we're good. Thank you. I'll be able to turn over now to Chris Shefflin, who will present the remainder of the action items on the agenda. The first item is a request for authorization to approve a grant in connection with the Rainforest Cafe retail renovation project. Chris?
Thanks, Francine. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much. NFNY Hotel Management describes the Rainforest Cafe retail renovation project as a $3.5 million renovation at the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Niagara Falls. The renovations will create 14,000 square feet of expanded retail space for a cafe restaurant, which will seat 238 guests inside and seating for 60 outside. NFNY Hotel acquired the Crowne Plaza in February of 2011 and converted it to a Sheraton later on that same year, 2011. The company has accepted an incentive proposal from USA Niagara back on February 23, 2015. The project is now complete. It was opened on June 4th, and the restaurant, of course, is currently open for business. The grantee is NFNY Hotel Management, LLC. The project is located at 300 3rd Street in Niagara Falls. The employment, which is not a condition of investment with regard to NEDF, was greater than 100 full-time equivalents at the time of opening in June. And the investment from the NEDF is a $125,000 grant for reimbursement of a portion of the $2.54 million in leasehold improvement costs related to the expanded retail and space renovations. You can see in Section C in the sources and uses that the grant investment through NEDF is for about 3.5% or $125,000. Over about 92% of the project is privately financed by the developer. With regard to the grant program background, those are on the written materials that are available to everybody. Important to point out that no USA Niagara funds will be utilized for the program, for the grant program, and that USA Niagara retains no interest in the various projects that we invest in, and we provide no financing for the project. So it's a straight grant with no ongoing obligations to the corporation. Environmental perspective, staff has determined that the project, which involves in-kind rehabilitation of a building, constitutes a Type 2 action as defined by the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, so no further environmental review is required. Of course, the corporation complies with all of the non-discrimination and contractor and supplier diversity obligations. And based on all the foregoing, the staff is recommending that the board authorize the Niagara County Development Corporation to make a $125,000 grant through the grant program and make a determination of no significant effect on the environment on the terms and conditions set forth in these materials. And one last one, I think Kim Shaw from NFNY Management is here. We'd like to thank her for all her work on the project.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Michael Williamson. Can I get a second? Paul Nanula. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Now we're going to move on with Chris presenting the next item, which relates to the 305 Prospect Street Retail Renovation Project. When you're ready, Chris.
Thank you, Francine. Flip Burger Incorporated describes the 305 Prospect Retail Renovation Project as a $77,000 renovation to what was a vacant 1,000 square foot retail space fronting Old Fall Street between Prospect and Rainbow Boulevard in downtown Niagara Falls, New York. The renovations created a retail space for a hamburger and ice cream restaurant. Flip Burger is a locally owned family business with operators that have restaurant management experience, and we have them, the family here this afternoon, the Vecchi's family. Thank you very much for your investment in downtown. Flip Burger accepted an incentive proposal from the corporation on May 28, 2015. The project is now complete, and the business successfully operated this past summer. The grantee is Flip Burger, Inc. The project is located at 305 Prospect Street in Niagara Falls, New York. The Niagara Economic Development Fund investment is a $15,000 grant for reimbursement of a portion of the capital improvement costs, specifically build-out and signage related to the retail space renovations. Funds will not be reimbursed, would not be used to reimburse the grantee for furniture, fixtures, and equipment costs or any other soft costs. Similar to the Rainforest project, no funds from USA Niagara will be utilized for the program, and we retain no interest in the projects and no financing either. Same from an environmental perspective, it's a type 2 action, no further environmental review is required, and of course we comply with our non-discrimination, contractor and supplier diversity. So based on all the foregoing, the staff recommends that the board authorize the Niagara County Development Corporation to make a $15,000 grant through the grant program and make a determination of no significant effect on the environment on the terms and conditions set forth in these materials.
Are there any questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? Would anyone from the Vecchi's family like to speak? Thank you. Oh, we got to thank you.
Did you bring any burgers?
Is there a special that we should know about? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Director, oh dear God, why did I just send him? No, was it Paul or was it Gary?
It was Gary.
Gary. Okay, do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Paul Nanula seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The last item on our agenda, Chris will present, which relates to the Niagara Falls Convention and Conference Facility Civic Project. Whenever you're ready, Chris.
Thank you, Francine. In 2004 and again in 2010, the corporation entered into 5-year agreements with the Castellani Art Museum of Niagara University, whereby the museum used approximately 875 square feet of space at the conference center for a rotating exhibit of museum quality installations. Castellani, of course, is a major art institution in Niagara County. The use of the space as a satellite gallery has been an exciting amenity for the conference center and helped differentiate the conference center product from others around the region and state. The current agreement has expired, and under the terms of the new license and occupancy agreement, USA Niagara will continue to offer the space free of charge in exchange for Castellani providing museum quality art exhibits at no cost to the conference center. The agreement calls for a single 5-year term that can be canceled by either party at the end of any calendar month by providing 90 days written notice. Castellani will pay for all costs associated with the installation of exhibits, and the licensed space may be modified upon consent of the parties. And of course, the conference center uses the space consistent with the operation of the building. We would normally, this is obviously a no-cost financial transaction. It comes to the board because anything beyond 12 months or 1 year of operation requires board approval. So based on our ongoing relationship with the museum and what it provides to our building, staff is recommending that the board authorize the corporation to enter into a license agreement with Castellani Art Museum of Niagara University to continue their amenity at the conference center on the terms and conditions set forth in these materials.
Any questions or comments from the directors?
I can't envision anything why you wouldn't do it.
No, I don't. Any questions from the public? I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Monica? Give me a second, one of the two.
Second.
Michael Williamson, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No response. I want to thank you all for being here today. There is no further business. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Gary Smith first, Michael Williamson second, and I want to thank you all for participating in today's meeting. And thank you, New York. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all for being here.
Take care. Thank you.